this happens, all of a sudden, I genuinely hope, I was like, oh my God, I feel like a part of my heart just got ripped out. It was the weirdest feeling.
Mr. Kutcher looked in the window and saw what he thought was spilled wine on the floor. We believe now the evidence will show that was actually blood.
Kutcher told the jury when he eventually learned that Ashley had been murdered, he, quote, freaked out, knowing his fingerprints were on her door.
Mila Kunis just hinted at Ashton Kutcher's alleged involvement in the shady unalivement of his former girlfriend, and fans are shocked.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
Could Ashton Kutcher, the charming actor and entrepreneur, really be hiding the truth behind a chilling unalivement from over 2 decades ago?
Now, Jennifer said whoever did this to Ashley had to have known her because their home was double gated. After finding out that Ashton Kutcher was supposed to be on a date with her the night before, they questioned him.
This is the jaw-dropping story of the tragic death of Ashton Kutcher's girlfriend from 2001 and how new footage may expose even more than we ever knew. Was Ashton covering up an M?
Mr. Kutcher looked in the window and saw what he thought was spilled wine on the floor. We believe now the evidence will show that was actually blood.
Let's dive deep into the chilling details. In the early hours of February 22nd, 2001, the brutal unalivement of 22-year-old Ashley Ellerin shocked Hollywood. A vibrant fashion student with her whole life ahead of her, Ashley was found dead in her Hollywood home, stabbed 47 times. She had been preparing for a date with none other than that 70s show star Ashton Kutcher.
Ashley was stabbed 47 times. They also said it was evident that Ashley had just taken a shower and her body was found right outside the bathroom.
Ashton Kutcher, the rising Hollywood heartthrob at the time, was scheduled to pick up Ashley for a night out. When he arrived, however, the lights were on, but the door was locked. Peering through the window, Ashton saw what he thought was spilled red wine on the floor. Unbeknownst to him, Ashley's lifeless body was just inside. Kutcher, assuming she had left with someone else, simply left the scene, later calling the incident a misunderstanding.
Mr. Kutcher looked in the window and saw what he thought was spilled wine on the floor. We believe now the evidence will show that was actually blood.
The next morning, Ashley's roommate made the horrific discovery. The scene was gruesome. Ashley had been brutally stabbed nearly 50 times. Her unalivement would later be tied to a man known as the Hollywood Ripper, Michael Gargiulo, a serial unaliver who stalked and unalived women across California. But something about Ashton's behavior that night has never sat right with fans, and now, more than 2 decades later, explosive new information has surfaced that points to a potential cover-up. Fast forward to 2019, and Ashton Kutcher found himself back in the spotlight, not for his acting career, but as a key witness in the trial of Michael Gargiulo. Kutcher testified that he was freaking out after hearing about Ashley's death, especially since his fingerprints were all over her front door.
Kutcher told the jury when he eventually learned that Ashley had been murdered, he, quote, freaked out, knowing his fingerprints were on her door.
He claimed to have innocently thought the red stains on the carpet were from spilled wine, but fans couldn't help but raise eyebrows at his nonchalant response to seeing what was later revealed to be blood. Some even went as far as to question whether Ashton knew more than he let on. In fact, some conspiracy theorists suggested that Ashton may have been more deeply involved than the public initially realized. Questions began circulating. Why didn't Ashton call the police when he saw the suspicious scene? Why did it take him nearly 2 hours to arrive at Ashley's home after their phone call? These unanswered questions haunted many, and while Gargiulo was eventually convicted, Ashton's role in the night of Ashley's death continued to raise eyebrows. In a stunning twist, Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher's longtime partner and wife, has allegedly started planning on her exit strategy from her marriage to Ashton Kutcher. For weeks, rumors of a split between her and Ashton have been circulating. Sources close to the couple claim that Mila is growing uncomfortable with Ashton's ties, not only to his late girlfriend's unalivement, but also to the now disgraced hip-hop mogul, Sean Diddy Combs. Could Mila be cooperating with authorities behind the scenes? If so, it makes sense why she's distanced herself from Ashton. She may know something explosive that could put Ashton in serious legal jeopardy. After all, she has been by his side for years and would have had access to his private world. There are even whispers that Mila has been speaking with federal investigators, providing key information that could potentially expose Ashton Ashton's role in Diddy's criminal circle. If that's true, Ashton's world could be about to come crashing down. You see, many people don't realize that Ashton Kutcher and Diddy go way back. Sean Combs has gone by a million names over the years. Started out in the 90s in NYC, back when he was P. Diddy, then Puffy, then just Love. He launched Bad Boy Records in '93, which eventually became Bad Boy Entertainment, one of the biggest names in the music biz. And he didn't just bring any old artist with him. He brought the Notorious Big, aka Christopher Wallace. That name alone was making Bad Boy Entertainment some millions a year at one point.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died.
But here's the thing, Combs wasn't just making headlines because of his music. Oh no, he was all over the place. Fashion, TV shows, you name it. And this is where things get interesting. Combs found himself rubbing elbows with another A-lister, Ashton Kutcher. Yep, that's right. Diddy and Ashton were tight.
Our relationship was really bizarre. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together. And he came over and I was like, I'm going for a run. He's like, oh, I'll go for a run with you.
So how did these two link up? It all started with Punk'd. You remember that prank show on MTV, right? But Combs didn't stop there. He also produced a bunch of seasons of Making the Band on MTV, where wannabe stars competed to make it big. And during all of this, Ashton and Diddy were often spotted together at events, parties, you name it. Ashton was a regular at Diddy's famous Labor Day white party back in 2010. You know, those bougie events where everyone wears white and things probably get wild behind the scenes. Here's a fun tidbit. When Time magazine named Ashton one of the 100 most influential people that year, Diddy gushed over him, saying, Ashton Kutcher is a sounding board for me. Like me, he's a mogul, a new media mogul, but we're like yin and yang. I'm in your face, and he's all cool and suave. Cute, right? Fast forward to 2019, and Ashton's on Hot Ones, getting grilled by Sean Evans while eating spicy wings. Of course, the topic of Diddy's legendary parties came up, and let's just say Ashton had a lot of stories he couldn't tell. With Diddy facing charges that include everything from ST-ficking to racketeering, people are now wondering if Ashton Kutcher knew more than he's letting on. In any case, Ashton Kutcher is definitely not the innocent party in all of this. You see, last year, Ashton and Mila found themselves knee-deep in controversy, and it's all thanks to some resurfaced clips like these.
One of the girls that we're all waiting for to turn 18.
Apparently, the Kutchers faced backlash which stemmed from them backing Danny Masterson, who has already faced legal consequences due to allegations of SA.
Danny Masterson has just been sentenced to 30 years to life in prison and has been ordered to register as a offender. A jury convicted the actor on 2 counts of back in May.
After the Kutchers' outspoken support for the accused, Christina Ricci boldly called them out, triggering a cascade of revelations about their own history. In a stark white font against a dramatic black background, Christina shared her sentiments saying, "Unfortunately, I've known lots of awesome guys who were lovely to me who have been proven to be abusers privately. I've also had personal experience with this. Believe victims. It's not easy to come forward. It's not easy to get a conviction." In a separate slide, she continued, "So sometimes people we have loved and admired do horrible things. They might not do these things to us, and we only know who they were to us, but that doesn't mean they didn't do the horrible things, and to discredit the abused is a crime. People we know as awesome guys can be P-daters and abusers. It's tough to accept, but we have to. If we say support victims, women, children, men, boys, then we must be able to take this stance," the note concluded. While Christina Ricci didn't drop any names, her social media posts left little to the imagination, seemingly aimed at the celebrity couple currently embroiled in a whirlwind of controversy, none other than Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. These two have been under the microscope for their unwavering support of Masterson. For context, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote to the court as character references, urging Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Charlene Olmedo to offer Masterson leniency in letters dated between July and August last year, after he was convicted in May of the same year for SA. In his letter obtained by The Hollywood Reporter, Kutcher referred to his co-star as a role model with exceptional character and explained that Masterson was the reason Kutcher didn't fall into drugs. Any time that we were to meet someone or interact with someone who was on drugs or did drugs, he made it clear that that wouldn't be a good person to be friends with, the Your Place or Mine star wrote. Kunis wrote in her letter that Masterson had been an exceptional older brother figure to her. She also touted his avoidance of drugs, which inspired her to stay away from substances. Danny's steadfastness in promoting a drug-free lifestyle has been a guiding light in my journey through the entertainment world and has helped me prioritize my well-being and focus on making responsible choices, the Friends with Benefits actress added. The married duo decided to address the brewing storm with a joint video apology that hit the internet on a sultry Saturday afternoon. In their confession, they spilled the beans about how the Mastersons family had asked them to vouch for their 25-year acquaintance. They said,
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years. So that the judge could take that into full consideration.
Kutcher then added, they were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that, and we're sorry if that has taken place. Critics were quick to take to X to unleash their dismay over the lawyered apology. Journalist Yashar Ali wrote on the site, it's important to note that the letters weren't just character letters you'd write for a friend. The letters, which contained a great deal of Scientological phrasing, were intended to undermine the victims who were drugged by Danny. Another person referred to the apology as, more like sorry public, we did not know that our letter would be read publicly. We still want to support our horrible friend in court. They are not sorry. At the same time, fans called out the irony of Kutcher's defense while running a charity that fights child SA. Kutcher co-founded Thorn with his ex-wife Demi Moore. The organization partners with tech companies, NGOs, and law enforcement to fight illegal human trading of young ones in the digital age. One fan commented on this saying, I hope no one forgot Ashton Kutcher is a co-founder of Thorn. Interesting that a man who claims to advocate for SA also defended a man who is accused of such a thing. Meanwhile, after all this backlash, Christina reemerged on Instagram stories to clarify that she wasn't referring specifically to the Kutchers, although she admitted that recent events have made her think more about this. What I wrote wasn't meant to seem so pointed, she began in the post to her 1.6 million followers. It's just something I've been thinking about generally as different individuals' wrongdoings have come to light over the past couple of years, and I too have found it difficult to reconcile the person or people I knew with the things they've done, she finished. But yes, recent events have made me think more about this. In any case, Christina's choice of words in labeling the act of people discrediting victims, in this case Ashton and Mila, as a crime has raised some eyebrows. Some fans believe that there could be more to this story, and that Christina could be hinting that these two celebrities should also be considered criminals for siding with Masterson. One fan actually commented on this saying, she's right about this. They're very wrong for what they did, and their apology is not even enough. They should be punished too. But folks, this is where things get interesting. Apparently, fans have received word that Ashton isn't exactly as innocent as he would like us to believe. One of Danny Masterson's accusers is taking Ashton Kutcher to the woodshed after his in-court support of his old pal, and doing it by resurfacing old footage that hasn't aged well. Chrissy Bixler, who dated Danny back in the day, but who has since come forward as one of several women to claim he SA'd her, took to IG this weekend to call out Ashton. In response to the letters, Chrissy posted on Instagram, Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I hear everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor, she said. The date Chrissy is referencing is the night Ashton's then-girlfriend, Ashley Ellerin, was unalived in her Hollywood Hills apartment. Ashton had called her several times that night and ended up visiting her at her home. He later testified that he spotted liquid on the ground through the window, which he thought was red wine, but it turned out to be blood. After assuming she wasn't home, Kutcher left Ashley's apartment. Michael Gargiulo, who was later dubbed the Hollywood Ripper, was eventually found guilty of her. Monsieur Chrissy also sent a message to Mila, writing, I pray you begin to process what you experienced as a child on that set. Your old interviews are very telling, she wrote. In addition to this, Chrissy also posted a ton of old clips that show Ashton and his wife, Mila Kunis, interacting together, as well as one of Mila and Danny that certainly feels icky. One of the clips is from when Hilary Duff appeared on Kutcher's show, Punk'd. The weird part of this clip comes as he introduced the child star who was 15 at the time, Ashton said.
One of the girls that we're all waiting for to turn 18.
In another clip, she posted Ashton and Mila talking about the first time they met and how they first kissed on set. These clips have caused an online frenzy, with many fans demanding for Ashton to be canceled. The people want more of these cancel Ashton Kutcher videos. He and Danny were clearly creeping on these young girls. "We need more of this," one fan commented. A second fan added, "Disgusting then and disgusting now." In any case, what's truly interesting here is Mila Kunis' sudden and suspicious silence about the whole Diddy ordeal. For weeks, rumors of a split between her and Ashton have been circulating. Sources close to the couple claim that Mila is growing uncomfortable with Ashton's ties to Diddy, especially with the FBI now reportedly investigating all of Diddy's associates. Could Mila be cooperating with authorities behind the scenes? If so, it makes sense why she's distanced herself from Ashton. She may know something explosive that could put Ashton in serious legal jeopardy. After all, she has been by his side for years and would have had access to his private world. There are even whispers that Mila has been speaking with federal investigators, providing key information that could potentially expose Ashton's role in Diddy's criminal circle. If that's true, Ashton's world could be about to come crashing down. Anyway, Diddy has been making headlines for weeks. Arrested, locked up, and now refusing to eat, paranoid that he might be poisoned.
We're getting reports that Diddy isn't eating while in jail, and it could be because he thinks someone's trying to poison his food.
Speculation is running wild that Sean Diddy Combs might be refusing to eat in jail, fearing he could be Epsteined, taken out, and made to look like a self-harm fatality. Sources close to the situation suggest that Diddy's paranoia is through the roof, especially as his testimony could expose dirt on some of the most powerful players in the industry. Former inmate Larry Levine has fueled the rumor mill by claiming Diddy may have stopped eating altogether because he's afraid someone might poison his food. Levine hints that Diddy's got serious secrets on people with deep pockets and high stakes, and they might want him silenced before he can take the stand.
Kevin Hart. Mark Wahlberg. Snoop. DJ Khaled.
For some, it's easy to brush off Diddy's fear as paranoia. But for others, this is just the beginning of a much larger story. The timing is what's raising suspicion. Diddy's testimony is scheduled to happen soon. And the word on the street is that his testimony could shake the foundations of the entertainment industry. His fans fear he won't survive long enough to tell his story, a fear that's intensified after the suspicious deaths of other high-profile figures who were set to testify before Diddy. Meanwhile, on Monday, Combs' lawyers said they have significant new grounds to argue for his release from federal jail while he awaits trial. Combs' lawyers are asking the appeals court to put one appeal on hold so he can bring new information to the attention of the federal judge overseeing the case, Judge Aaron Subramanian. Prosecutors have opposed pausing any appeal. Before Combs sought the delay, the federal appeals court scheduled oral arguments on his detention for November 4th. Over the weekend, his attorneys asked Subramanian to issue an order to prohibit potential witnesses and their attorneys from speaking about the allegations against Combs. This court should exercise its discretion in issuing an order requiring all potential witnesses and their counsel to refrain from making extrajudicial statements that have a substantial likelihood to interfere with Mr. Combs' trial or otherwise prejudice the due administration of justice, Combs' lawyers wrote to the judge. Since November 2023, at least 25 civil lawsuits have been filed against Combs with allegations of SA or misconduct. The initial lawsuit, filed by his former girlfriend Cassie Ventura, was settled the next day. The other cases remain active. Combs has denied the allegations. Prosecutors have said their criminal investigation is ongoing and additional charges or defendants could be added in a possible superseding indictment. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.